Hey everybody, Eric Foxman, Balanced Personal Training. And today I want to share with you how you can do more and get more with less. Now when I share that, most people, the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, you're going to be talking about high intensity training, and that's actually not what I want to be talking about at all. So often people are thinking about, there's a word called efficacy, and that means efficiency plus effectiveness. And when it comes to exercise and fitness, people are always trying to figure out, how do I get, the most with less? If I can do a workout program in 15 minutes and target every muscle group and get resistance and make it aerobic and burn this many calories, I'm making the most use out of my time. Well, I am not a personal fan of high intensity training, especially as we get older. Sudden spikes in your blood pressure going from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds. Most people's bodies aren't trained for that. So doing short burst, high intensity is not the way to go. And just as an example, in your life, work, play, hobbies, besides, let's say, doing a high intensity workout at the gym, when do you need that type of intensity? When you're out gardening, when you're playing golf, when you are going for a walk, when you're shoveling snow. There is not one activity out there on a regular day-to-day basis. If you're going to go for a 10-mile hike up a mountain, having high intensity doesn't really do anything, so you can't really apply it. Now, I'm not saying that it's not beneficial, that you're tapping into different muscle fibers, you're making things almost anaerobic, and it's stretching and pushing you in different ways. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that high intensity training for the sake of high intensity training is not very practical or functional. But anyways, that's a whole nother video. I want to share with you about doing more, getting more with less. So there's going to be 5 examples that I'm going to share with you. The first is you can do more and get more by spending less time in the gym. Okay? And I think you're like, wait, Eric, you just said that you're not a fan of high intensity training. That's true. But there's two things that I want to get at when I talk about less time in the gym. One is you don't need to be there for 2 hours and wipe yourself out and say, oh, I did an hour of cardio, I did 45 minutes of weights, I finished with 15 minutes of static stretches, and then you're absolutely wiped out. Because you are not going to recuperate and recover, probably for the rest of your days kind of shot, but also how are you going to feel the next day? Because, working out and getting in shape is not just about looking, but it's about feeling and then doing. And you want to be able to use your body. When I train people, I often will tell them, hey, you know what, you can kill yourself in my studio. Absolutely. You can go to the point where you can't even walk out to your car. But then what good is that? So when I say about doing less in the gym, I'm actually talking about doing less. Doing balls to the wall, really hard workouts, it's fun once in a while, but your body will pay for it unless you are doing it in such a way that you're mixing heavy workouts with light workouts, lower rep, with higher rep. It can't just be every single time I need to have a personal best. Every single time I need to go in there and just raw and rip my workout apart. Because you rip that workout apart, you're ripping your shoulders and your back. And I can't tell you the number of people I run into who, oh, I was doing so well, I was working out, then 6 months later, and they weren't paying attention to this cumulative wearing down effect. Okay? So you can be training at 50, 60, 70% intensity in the gym and have excellent results, okay? Over the last probably 10 years, I've made some pretty major changes to my workout, and yes, I'm 45 years old, and with that, recovery is not quite the same. Things going on in the joints. Life happens, right? So you make adjustments. Now, this is not to say that, oh, if you're 20 years old and you can take on the world, that you should train that super high intensity because then you're just going to lead yourself down the path of getting injured. So start now, use common sense, be smart. So along with less physical time in the gym, so you don't need to be working out for 2 hours, get in there for 30, 40 minutes, and that's great. And then, you're pumped up, you're ready to rock for the rest of the day. You don't need to be spent. But the other part of less time in the gym is really just that. Use the time that you spend working out as a complement to all the other activities that you do, okay? I was talking about hiking, swimming, golfing. We're not shoveling snow yet here in Wisconsin, but maybe in the next 2-3 months we will be. And on the days that I go out and I clear my driveway, sometimes twice in a day, okay, do I then need to go to the gym to work out? Heck no. That workout, making sure I don't slip on the ice, shoveling, pushing snow, and being out there for as long as I'm out there, that is, when I say more intense, I'm giving more effort. There's more work than I do in the gym. So, doing more with less, the first thing is spending less time in the gym. Well, the other part about spending less time in the gym, for number 2 is, gone are the days of walking in there and wearing your weightlifting belt, your lifting straps, your gloves, wrapping up your knees, and all that kind of stuff. I've been lifting weights for about 33 years, and I had the leather belt. I used to wrap my knees up when I would do squats. I had lifting straps and gloves, and I would have a special belt for when I would do squats, and then I would use a different belt when I would do something else. You know what? That type of workout is just, it's so unnecessary. Unless you're one of these super duper power lifters and you're, deadlifting several hundred pounds and you just need to assist your grip, then great. But otherwise, you know what? You should develop grip strength. You should develop core strength. So you don't need lifting straps. You don't need a weightlifting belt. I never wear weightlifting gloves. I actually like to feel the weight. It feels good. And it was kind of weird when I was in high school a bazillion years ago. I used to run track and field. I did the sprints all 4 years. And I would be barefoot in the shoes because I felt that I was more closely connected to the track. And it seemed to work. I was a good runner. So the second is, you don't need all that gear and equipment. So you can get more by doing less and having less stuff with you. Number 3 is eating less, okay? You will get better results when you eat less. There are lots of results that I'm talking about. First of all, you will be able to manage your weight better or lose weight if you are eating less than you are eating right now. Second is the amount of time that it takes to prepare food. Okay, there's 5 of us in my household, and I have 3 boys, and they all eat. My wife does gardening and landscaping. She eats. I'm pretty physical with what I do. I eat. We like to eat. There's a lot of time being spent preparing food. And then, if you're not eating as much, and you're not taking as much time to prepare food, then you're also not spending as much time eating food. And that can be like a full-time job. When I was in college, I was more serious about lifting, and I had a roommate who was a bodybuilder, and he would eat 8 times a day. He was on the clock. It was like every 90 minutes to 2 hours. Wherever he was, he had to stop doing what he was doing, and he was eating. Now, did he have to? No, he didn't have to, but that was part of the mindset of what he was doing. And I was eating probably 6-7 times a day. So you won't have as much food prep time. You won't have as much time physically eating. It's not going to cost you as much. You could eat less and then replace that with all organic, and it probably is going to be less than what you spend regularly if you just eat less. The body doesn't need as much food. I think all these things with different workouts, and everyone's talking about paleo and pretty calorie-rich foods with a lot of protein, a lot of fat. You just don't need it. It's not necessary for your functioning. And the last part of that eating less is it's less work on your GI system, your gastrointestinal system. If you are eating less food, okay, less frequently, there is less stress on your system. And I can't tell you the number of times where, I'll get excited. We're at a friend's place and I wind up overeating, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. Sorry, guys. And it's just a lot of extra work for your GI system, your liver, your stomach, your kidneys, all that stuff. So that's number 2, is you get more by doing less if you're eating less food. Number 4, sorry, I went like that. Number 4 is kind of a separate topic, but workout equipment. You go into most gyms and they have thousands, if not millions of dollars invested in their cardio equipment, all their weightlifting equipment, and probably in the last maybe 10, 15 years, we have seen more functional trainers all the time. Great use of space, great use of money, and so you're able to get more bang for your buck. And if you don't know what a functional trainer is, essentially it's it's probably about this wide with a couple weight stacks and handles that are adjustable along a track. And so you could be doing, chest press, you could be doing cable twists. There's lots of things that you could do. Some of these functional trainers don't just have the tracks that you can adjust the height of a handle or a bar, but they have arms, and the arms will move up and down and internal and external. And they're great. They're really great use of money, great use of space, and you're going to get a lot more for less. The fifth thing is along the lines of equipment, and I'm thinking about athletic shoes and how nowadays athletic shoes, they're lighter, they're more durable, and there's no break-in time. There's definitely a style to workout shoes where there's, one piece of fabric in there, and you put on those shoes and you're ready to go for a run or get on the tennis court or get on the basketball court. And for so many shoe manufacturers, they don't want there to be a lot of break-in time, because break-in time often means, blisters, and it's uncomfortable. And then why do you want that kind of shoe? So light, durable, cost is great, and so a lot of the athletic shoes are fantastic, good things out there. So that's what I have to say about doing more with less. I'll just do a quick recap while I look at my notes, and I'm just talking about less time in the gym, meaning lighter in the gym, less time being there because there are other activities you should be doing outside of the gym. The gym should just kind of complement what you do. Not needing the same equipment, going to the gym, the gloves, the lifting straps, the knee wraps, belts, things like that. 3 is eating less. Okay, you're going to get a lot better results. I guarantee you, if you start eating less, you will have more energy because your body's not going to do as much work. You're going to save money. You won't spend as much time eating. You won't spend as much time preparing the food. Number 4 is looking at workout equipment. Whether you're working at a gym or you're thinking about putting something in your own home, and the idea of these functional trainers that can accomplish the same thing, 20, 30, 40 exercises, as maybe 10, 20 pieces of workout equipment that you see at the gym. And last but not least, number 5 was the idea of athletic shoes. They're lighter, more durable, and that's fantastic. So hey, if you have any questions, you guys know where to find me.